Hey, 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 what's going on, folks? I'm back. We're back for another show of the wrestling show here. I still don't have an exact title for it today. It's WWE TLC, WWE Network. We're going to discuss a little TNA today, and the Slammys are coming up as well. So going to check that out also. And as usual, this show brought to you by nobody. Okay, well, today we have some... Today, it's about a week out before WWE TLC, which will be live on pay-per-view December 15th at 8 p.m., emanating from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. And the Toyota Center, gorgeous, gorgeous venue. I was there back for WrestleMania 25 weekend. The Hall of Fame was there. Not a bad place. They have in the Toyota Center, they have a Jack Daniel's bar. Gorgeous bar. It's expensive, as everything is inside an arena, but it was huge. It was like, I mean, how they didn't have an entrance from the outside, they'd be making a ton more money. But Toyota Center is going to be a good place, and it's going to be the focal point of probably one of the most important history-driven matches in WWE history. And we're going to get to that. Now, as of right now, what's today? Today's the 8th of December. 5 matches are set for TLC. And we'll get to the big main event, the unification match for the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE title, which will be contested in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. But we'll get into that in one moment. Leading up to that, though, there are 2 other title matches scheduled for that evening and 2 tremendous handicap matches. Pretty much first starting off, the Divas title will be on the line. AJ Lee putting the gold on the line against Natalya. Now, Natalya is the star of WWE Total Divas on the E! Network, which I think is a fantastic show, to be honest with you. It's like any other E! reality show. It's half scripted in my book, half reality. It's got its moments, like Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. They're an actual couple in real life, actually getting married, going through all that stuff. I'm guessing John Cena and Nikki Bella, John Cena and Nikki Bella are a couple, but they come off as completely there for the show. And then you got the relationships with the Cameron and Naomi, the Funkadactyls, with the Vincent, who's has nothing to do with WWE, but he's on the show and he's absolutely hysterical. And Trinity, who's Naomi of the Funkadactyls, she's going out with Jey Uso of the Uso brothers. So that one seems legit as well. But then Cameron and Vincent, again, they probably are going out in real life, but again, that's more the E part of it. So, and then you have Natalya, the number 1 contender for the Divas title, Natalya and Tyson Kidd, who just recently got married, and tonight's episode, their cat dies or something, I don't know. So, but with the success, piggybacking on the success of Total Divas, Natalya's going into next week as the number 1 contender for the Divas title against AJ Lee. And AJ Lee has been a phenomenal champion. She's been a phenomenal asset to the Divas division, in my opinion. Definitely pretty much taken over as the number 1 diva in the company. But I have a strange feeling that if for no other reason, maybe for just ratings purposes, they'll have Natalya win the title next week. Now, I also like to preface that this is a non-spoiler show. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. That's a gross overstatement. But I don't read the spoilers. I don't read the dirt sheets. I don't know what's coming up. I don't know what's going on. So any of my opinions are purely that, just opinions. So, pretty much you can take it for what it's worth. So, Natalya, I feel, will be the new Divas champion, pretty much to help promote, because they got a 2nd season signed. Total Divas will be back on the E! Network, and why not have one of their stars, especially because that would probably be compelling episodes to have Natalya as a champion and Tyson Kidd trying to just make it back past superstars. They're doing it right now with Brie Bella who's getting kind of upset over Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan, now when they filmed, he pretty much, this was right after SummerSlam, winning the title, becoming the #1 guy, and she's getting kind of almost jealous of the fact, not of him, just she's upset that she's not getting the attention anymore, because now he's jet setting all around, doing promos, radio shows, doing interviews, phoners, and at one point he was really nothing on the totem pole, and she was the Divas champion. So it kind of roles reverse, and I feel like that's going to translate over to Natalya and Tyson Kidd, TJ, on Total Divas. Again, my opinion, but that's coming up. Divas title, AJ Lee versus Natalya. Also scheduled for TLC is the Intercontinental Championship. Big E Langston will go one-on-one with Damian Sandow. Now, Sandow is, in my mind, deserving of the Intercontinental title, more deserving than Big E Langston, to be honest with you. Big E is good, but between him and Sandow's been around just a little bit longer. Money in the Bank winner. Only the second man to not successfully cash in Money in the Bank, but to be fair, John Cena wasn't supposed to win his Money in the Bank, so I think they just kind of threw that one away anyway. But Sandow is Intercontinental Champion. That fits. That works out for him. That will be a tremendous, tremendous feather in his cap, if you will. Whether or not they're going to give him the title at TLC, I don't know. I think they're going to give Big E Langston a little bit longer shot with this title. Maybe Sandow early next year, maybe like around February, maybe like leading into WrestleMania, may win the Intercontinental title. That would be interesting. That would be nice. But Big E Langston and Damian Sandow also, Sandow's been around, maybe like a year and a half, maybe. But Sandow more of the product of Florida Championship Wrestling with FCW, which was right before NXT. Before NXT became NXT, it was FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling. And Big E is kind of the product of, he is the product of NXT. He's a former NXT champion. He's the second NXT champion. Damian Sandow, but bottom line, what it is these are two young guys in the business. Sandow, not really a rookie anymore. Big E pretty much still finishing up. He's still within his rookie year, because he was just earlier in the year, right before WrestleMania. Pretty much he came along. So it's showing that they're starting to put more face, some of these more big deal matches, because the Intercontinental title, to me, is still a big deal. And they're putting that in with these two guys, Big E Langston and Damian Sandow. I think Sandow's going to have a lot to offer, a lot to show. I think Big E's going to have a lot to offer, a lot to show. I believe Big E will leave as the Intercontinental Champion. Now, the remaining 3 matches, high-profile matches, high meaningful matches. First of all, there are 2, which I love this concept, kind of separating everything out. Instead of making maybe one giant handicap match, make 2 separate handicap matches. There are 2 3-on-1 handicap matches happening at TLC. The first one will be Daniel Bryan taking on the Wyatts. And that's Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper. And I think I always get Rowan and Harper mixed up. I think it's Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. I keep forgetting. But in any event, it's going to be this. Actually, let me just double check on that one here. It is. There it is. But this is another showing of NXT, product of NXT. The Wyatts are products of NXT. And this is, Bray Wyatt, formerly Husky Harris, former member of the New Nexus, which was a couple of years ago. So, he was part of the Nexus when CM Punk took over. So, but again, this is showing because he kind of repackaged himself in NXT and branded himself with this Bray Wyatt, and now with the Wyatt family, with these 2 other, huge competitors, big dudes. And what's going to happen here is with Daniel. First of all, Daniel Bryan is a main event player. He proved it at SummerSlam when he beat John Cena for the title. Regardless of what happened with Randy Orton and Triple H and the Authority and all this stuff over the next few months thereafter, Bryan has solidified himself as the #1 guy. I think #1 even bigger than John Cena. Now, him and Punk are pretty much on the same level, but I think both of them are surpassing what Cena has to offer. But Daniel Bryan is going to bring the best out of the Wyatts. I think the Wyatts going to bring the best out of Daniel Bryan. Recently on Raw and SmackDown, they've been cutting these promos of the Wyatts. It's almost like they're teasing a heel turn for Daniel Bryan. Whether or not that will happen at TLC, I'm not sure. Admittedly, I missed SmackDown last Friday. But with this 3-on-1 handicap, it's going to show how Daniel Bryan can carry a match pretty much on his own in a high detail capacity. Personally, I feel Daniel Bryan is going to win the Royal Rumble next month in Pittsburgh. And I think he's going to go on to WrestleMania 30 and win the championship, my opinion. But with the Wyatts, Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, and these three guys are just, there's no finesse about them. They're just three big dudes who just, all they know is just to go fast forward, just plow through the competition. Nothing scientific about them whatsoever, but that's fine. They're not supposed to be scientific. Daniel Bryan is. He can mix it up. He did it in ROH. He did it in the first season of NXT. He did it when he first debuted in the WWE. But he's the more tech-savvy, where the Wyatts are clearly not. And I think that is a great mix. That's going to be a tremendous mix. Plus, Daniel Bryan, I mean, I'm 5'10". I think he may be just my height, maybe a little shorter. Could be. Whereas the Wyatts are over 6 feet tall, each one of them over 300 pounds. Daniel Bryan is 5'10", 210 pounds. So, I mean, he's my height, not my weight, but that's a whole nother story. But the Wyatts, I mean, the Wyatts are a whole nother breed of superstars. I mean, just to put it, so Daniel Bryan is 5'10", 210 pounds. Let's take a look here. Well, it's going to be a little difficult to look up the Wyatts here. Let me see here. So we can find Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt himself, and this is all from WWE.com. Bray Wyatt, 6'3", 285. Big dude. Big dude. Let's see. Where is Eric Rowan? Should be coming up here. And here we go. Eric Rowan, who's the bald head, long beard, the green getup. He's 6'8", 315. Versus 5'10", 210. Come on now. And let's go to Luke Harper. Nope, not Jey Uso. We talked about him before. Let's see. Luke Harper. Where is he? We're up to Kane. There he is. Luke Harper. Now, this monster of a mountain man, 6'5", 275. Sometimes a little shorter than Eric Rowan, but whatever. That just goes to show, though, 6'3", 6'5", 6'8", versus 5'10". This 3-on-1 handicap match is going to be significant. It's going to be a game changer for the Wyatts and for Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan, though, will come out on top of that one. The other handicap match, 3-on-1, CM Punk versus The Shield. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and the WWE United States Champion, Dean Ambrose. Now, a year ago, at the Barclays Center, TLC 2012 was the debut of the in-ring debut of The Shield. And they put on one heck of a show. They took on Kane, Daniel Bryan, and Ryback in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. The Shield, again, product of NXT. This pay-per-view, short of the main event, is just a showcase of NXT. These three guys coming up from NXT. Seth Rollins was the first ever NXT champion. He's already a former WWE World Tag Team champion, and he's a member of probably one of the most devastating groups in recent history. I'm not putting them on par. I'm not saying the Shield is on par with the NWO or DX or the Horsemen or anything like that, but for maybe like compared to Legacy or compared to Evolution, the Shield definitely made their mark. And they're going to continue. And for this last year, at least in-ring competition-wise, they actually debuted at Survivor Series, but for in-ring competition, I'm telling you, man, the Shield has what it takes. And I have a feeling that the Shield will beat CM Punk at TLC. Now, Punk, just alone, 434 That's the number you got to listen to with CM Punk. He is the longest reigning WWE champion in the modern era, 434 days, which I don't think it's going to be surpassed for a very long time. I mean, it took, almost, let's see, last time Cena held the title for over a year was maybe right around WrestleMania 23, I think, during that time. Yeah, it was WrestleMania, that time frame there, WrestleMania 23. That was 2007. So probably 2006 and 2007 was the last time there was a champion for over a year. It's going to be a long time before we see anyone beat Punk for that reign. But with that being said, with Punk having the ability to definitely survive this 3-on-1 handicap match, I think the Shield's going to take it from there. Now, the main event, the game changer, the one that's going to change the landscape of WWE for a long time coming, and I think is way overdue, the unification match between the WWE and the World Heavyweight Championship, which will be contested in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. World Champion John Cena, WWE Champion Randy Orton. Now, Cena's already a 14-time champion between the WWE and the World Heavyweight Championship. I have a feeling they will have him surpass him. They, being the WWE, will have him surpass Ric Flair as the most world championships. Well, they're not going to count this one as 15. I hope not, but they probably will. But this is just kind of straightforward. You have Randy Orton, you have John Cena. Both have had tremendous matches in the past. One that comes to mind is from Breaking Point a few years ago in the Iron Man No Holds Barred match, which was fantastic for the two of them. But now, it's funny. I was just about to say, I think the Golden Boy, John Cena, will walk out as a unified champion. But the last time they did this, back in 2001, is with, they had the little mini tournament with Rock, Austin, Kurt Angle, and Chris Jericho. And at the time of those four, Jericho never really held the world title. He was WCW champion, but it kind of didn't count. It really didn't count back then. But, they gave the undisputed title to Jericho, and he held it till the following WrestleMania. He held it from December to March, which was fantastic. So, with that being said, I don't know if they're going to necessarily give it to the quote-unquote Golden Boy John Cena, but I'll go with Cena. He's probably the odds-on favorite anyway. So there you have it. In 1 week's time, TLC, Intercontinental Championship, Biggie Langston versus Damian Sandow. The Divas title is on the line. AJ Lee versus Natalya. Two tremendous 3-on-1 handicap matches. CM Punk versus The Shield. And Daniel Bryan versus the Wyatts. And, of course, the unification TLC match for the unified, what I'm calling the unified WWE Championship, which will be John Cena versus Randy Orton. So there's your lineup for TLC. Now, some other items to mention here of interest. First and foremost, I heard nothing from WWE, just reading the internet, is the network, the WWE Network, which was supposed to debut, 2 years ago? But it's going to go a little change of pace. Instead of being an actual network on a cable provider, it's going to be more of a Netflix-like streaming, where... it's just that, streaming. Probably $13 a month, maybe $12 a month. From what I hear, it's going to immediately, the library open to everyone, is every episode of Raw, every episode of SmackDown, every pay-per-view, which is fantastic. How they're going to do the live streaming every now and again, I'm not sure. Special shows, lead-ins, lead-outs to Raws, SmackDowns, Manias, pay-per-views, I'm not sure. But this streaming version, I think, is going to work out a whole lot better than just having a regular channel on a network provider. It's going to open up a whole lot more doors. And this network, I think, is just a long time coming. This is a tremendous asset for the WWE to finally do, is get this network up and running. It's better off Total Divas making it on the E Network, so much better. But in this case, definitely get the WWE Network up and running, Netflix style. I'm all in. Now, with all that being said about TNA, WWE, switch gears to TNA. I don't know what's going on in TNA. TNA is trying to do this kind of Impact 365. It's almost like their own network, kind of, sort of, where they're just doing everything, between social media network, their shows, their live events. They're trying to incorporate everything 24/7, which in theory is good, but for a company that's losing money left and right, where they're going back to Orlando back to Universal Studios for weekly shows because they couldn't handle it with traveling. Doing this, I just don't think is going to work. Plus, just their storylines are just it's continuing to look like Nitro. And I'm talking about the bad Nitro, like after the NWO came and went. And they were pretty much on their last legs. The angles are just, I'm not... Look at their tag team champions, the Bromans. What's going on? And it was okay. They had something going with the way they were doing the championship, the TNA title, where AJ Styles kind of left the company. And he's defending the title all over the world. But then they're doing a tournament now, which is now down to Jeff Hardy and Magnus. They'll probably give Magnus the title. And then I'm sure AJ will come back, be some sort of unification match. Kind of like what happened at SummerSlam a few years ago with John Cena and CM Punk. That's the whole thing. They're using homegrown talent, which is fine. But they need to find another niche as far as these angles and these stories. Dixie Carter, heel, Dixie Carter just should not even be on television. If you're going to run the company, let her do it in the back, or like a Jack Tunney type situation. She shouldn't be on TV. That's my opinion. TNA's got to work on they can work on their product. If they can work their way back up to a viable competition, it's going to help them and the WWE. And with that being said, just real quick, the Slammys are coming up next Monday, or actually next Monday, tomorrow. And the Slammys, they are what they are. I mean, the categories they have, some of the categories, you got your typical, Superstar of the Year, Match of the Year, Diva of the Year, stuff like that. That's fine. Then you got like Hashtag of the Year, some stupid stuff like that, Double Cross of the Year. It is what it is. It's TV trying to fill 3 hours. It's perfectly fine. Insult of the Year. LOL Moment of the Year. It's a long way from when, Gorilla Monsoon was doing play-by-play for a backstage fight between Harley Race and Hacksaw Jim Duggan during the Slammy Awards, which I remember. That was fantastic. So, and then I can go on. I'm running out of time here, but I can probably go on with Match of the Year is just kind of weird. All right, fine. Rock Cena, of course, he's going to be on there, but Triple H and Brock Lesnar, it was compared to CM Punk and Brock Lesnar. That to me is Match of the Year. It's not even a nominee, but it is what it is. They're gonna pimp the app. Ask everyone to download the app. Pretty much take it from there. So. But Slammy Awards is a time-honored tradition. I don't mind. They can keep doing it. No big deal. I already started voting anyway. So there you go. With that being said, hopefully you enjoyed the show. Maybe I'd like to hear what your opinions are about TLC coming up, what your predictions are, what you think's going to happen with the 3 title matches, the 2 handicap matches, your thoughts on finally unifying the World Heavyweight title and the WWE title. And... pretty much see what else we have happening and take it from there. So thank you very much for joining. Have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to watch Total Divas tonight, Raw tomorrow, SmackDown Friday, and then TLC. So long, everybody.